So good morning everyone. Today we're going to start off from the floor. So we're going to do a little warm up from sitting. So if you can make sure that you're going to be comfortable with sitting by lifting, coming up onto a height. If you find that your knees and hips are just too uncomfortable in a sitting, you can do this using a chair, because we're going to be mainly working the upper body. So you could sit on the edge of a chair and you can do the warm-ups that way if sitting's a bit challenging. However, if you can manage to sit, we want to try and get our knees lower than our hips, which is the most comfortable way. Then you can relax in the hip flexors. Right, so from there, just let's bring the hands onto the knees and see how long you can make your body from the pubic bone to the sternum, to try and be really long. And we're just beginning to breathe. So as we breathe in, feel the breath beginning to fill your belly. And as you exhale, notice how your belly deflates. So we're taking that into our ujjayi breath. So as we breathe in, we're imagining we're taking the breath in through the front of the throat, and as we breathe out through the front of the throat. So we're making a slight sound here as we breathe in and out. In and out. Lovely. And just sitting like that and getting your breathing and being aware of the ujjayi breath and the belly. Very, very calming thing to do at any time. Okay, so let's now inhale, bring our shoulders up to the ears, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, now we're going to take that into a rotation. Keeping the breathing going. Change the direction. Lovely, and then release. Now just make sure that you've got nothing in the way. If you're moving your arms, you're not going to bang anything. So we're going to start off, lift the right arm, and let's make a little circle with the right arm. Up, right, to the side and back and forward. So as we're doing that, you can obviously move your body a little bit if you need to, but we're trying to do that in the joint, so not really involving too much of a movement in the side. Keeping the shoulder down, away from the ears. Lovely, and we'll just change the direction of that, so we'll start off back and round. Breathing. Okay, and then last one. Let's change the direction. Left arm. Yeah, make sure no chairs are there. See how much you can keep that shoulder down away from the ears. So you're not doing this kind of thing, but we're doing that. So it's slightly different feel. Okay, let's change the direction. So Trish, can you involve your shoulder a little bit more? So keep your arms straight if you can. Really keep the shoulders away from the ears. Ah, that's better, Richard. Much better, yeah. Okay, lovely. And let's do both arms together now. So forward, up, side, and back. Forward, up, side, and back. Yeah. And change direction. Lovely. And then release. Good. And then just give yourself a little jiggle. Okay, so bringing the left hand on the floor. Now, if you're quite high up, you may need a block so that you've got the contact with the floor. Obviously, if you're sitting high, you're not going to be able to reach the floor. Otherwise, you can just stretch in the direction of the floor. We're bringing the right arm up. Now, let's rotate that arm, rotate the inner arm so that the inner arm is parallel to the ear, and then we're going to slide off to the side. Now, stretching through that right leg, right arm, feel the stretch through the right side. Now, can we straighten the elbow, Trish? Lovely. And drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing. Breathing. And coming up. Lovely. Good. You should probably feel that about there. So if you find that when you do it, it's quite hard to get your arms straight, then just don't go so far. See if you can keep your arms straight as we go to the left. So you can just stretch up that way rather than leaning to the side. But if you're fine, you can go off to the side. Maintain that left hip down on the floor. So you kind of, as you stretch your left hand up, you're at the same time stretching your left hip down. Now, Richard, can you straighten your arm? Oh, I think it's something behind you that's giving me an optical illusion. That's fine. Great. Breathing really long. Beautiful. Don't let your head hang. Keep your head, your ear near your upper arm. 3 more breaths. Nice. And release. Great. And then just ease out. Okay, so from there, sitting up really tall, thinking of the crown of the head up, shoulders down, and that lower abdomen drawing in towards the spine. So you have to just check what you're doing with your back waist, that you're not pushing your waist forward. Just let the back waist settle back. So your sit bones descend. And then just have the hands on the knees. We're going to just take the right ear to right shoulder. So you feel that stretch to the left side of your neck. And straightening, going the other way. Keep getting the lift up through the spine before you take the ear to the left ear to the left shoulder. And back. So now right ear again. And what we'll do is we'll just catch with our right hand, just gently pull, stick slightly, increase that strength. Don't go crazy, just a gentle pull. Feel that. Keep that left shoulder back. And release. And then we're getting our straight position again. Left ear to the left shoulder. And just catching. Breathing. Lovely long spine. Keep the back waist back. Lower abdomen into the spine. Nice, and then release. So let's get back to neutral, and then looking straight ahead, getting our height. We're just going to rotate to look over the right shoulder. This time, let's just stretch through the left arm. Breathing, so make that really active, long spine, back of the waist, slightly back so that you're not hollowing. Sit bones descending, more abdomen connecting, and back to center. Ah, that's lovely. Yeah, and again to the other side. So we're going to turn to look over the left shoulder, slightly lengthen out in that right arm. Breathing, keep lovely and long, back, waist back. Lower abdomen drawing in, so you're kind of engaging the core. And release. I should say you're not kind of engaging the core, you are engaging the core. Lovely. Okay, so from there, let's just head to the floor, and we're going to just have a little stretch out on the floor. So let's start off, we're going to hug our right knee to the chest, and you can take the right knee out to the side to pull it in, to make that more possible if you're pregnant. And you can use a belt, remember, if that helps you. Now tuck your shoulders under, and if you need to have a cushion under your head, then use that. Now remember, a cushion is to prevent your chin from sticking up in the air. And then we can straighten that left leg, keeping our shoulders tucked under. Let's just first of all stretch through that left side. So lift the left arm up and extend all down the left, all along the left side. Breathe. Just watch you don't let the shoulder come up. Straight as you can with that arm. Nape of the neck nice and long. Ujjayi breath. Nice, and then we'll change sides. So left knee, you can take the left knee out to the side before you squeeze it in. If you're fine with that, you can just obviously catch it closer to the center, and then we're going to stretch through the right side. Stretch that right arm. Stretch that right leg. Breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice, so really feel the length, and then one foot and then the other on the floor. I'm just going to stretch both arms over the head and then stretch both legs. So imagine that you're being pulled, someone's got your wrists pulling them up and your ankles pulling them down. See how long you can make your spine, long you can make your body. And then we're doing an extra stretch. Right hand, left leg. So a diagonal stretch. Left arm, right leg, diagonal stretch. First side again. left leg, right arm, and second side, left arm, right leg. Great. And then just relax. Wonderful. Okay, so from there, we're going to bend our feet and take our knees hip distance. So if you have got something under your head at this point, you want to take it away. And I'm just searching for my belt. It's not here. You can have your belt. I'm going to just put it around the ankles. Let's see. So tuck our shoulders under, and then we're going to just gently lift up. So we're starting off from the base of the spine. We're beginning to bring one vertebrae at a time up. So we're coming into our bridge position. And then you can hold on to the belt and see how much you can tuck your shoulders under. Now, some of you can get your feet a little closer. You can put your hands in between your ankles to push against your feet, and that helps you to get a nice lift if that's okay for your body. Otherwise, just use your belt. See how much you can tuck onto your shoulders. Beautiful. Let's hold for 3 more breaths. Send your knees away from your hips. Lovely. And then to come down, going to let go of the belt and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, and then we'll just hug the knees to the chest, have a little rest, or you can bring your knees either side if you're pregnant, then you want to make sure you don't squash yourself. So you can do a nice hug of the knees with the knees wide, and that's quite relaxing. Okay, so let's go again. So we're going to use our belt if that helps. Make sure we've got nothing under our head, and we're going to tuck our shoulders under. Send the knees away, spreading the feet so our knees are under the ankles. And we're going to tuck our shoulders under. Using the belt, if that's helping. If you want to, you can go in a bit closer. But actually, Hazel, I think it's better if you take your feet further away. Yeah, better. Some of you, if you've got a nice grip on the shoulders, using the belt is not really necessary. Feel the feet pressing into the floor and let the knees move away from the hips. Check that you're not sticking your ribs out, so just let your rib cage settle. But it's rather the sternum that we're moving towards the chin. You're going to feel that in the buttocks, inner thighs. Let's hold for 3 more breaths. Watch the knees aren't splaying out to the side. Keep your knees over your ankles. 1 more breath. Lovely. And then we're going to come down by rolling down upper back, mid back, and then tailbone. And again, we can just bring the knees forward. Okay, so let's do our last one. So feet on the floor, ankles, knees above ankles, and knees hip distance. So holding the belt, if that helps you, and it will help you if your shoulders, or if you find it hard to tuck your shoulders under, then holding the belt definitely helps. But if you can get your shoulders under, then your shoulders are giving you a lot more support, and holding the belt becomes less helpful. So we're going to stand on just on the right leg, let that left leg come up. If you can. Now, don't worry if you find that quite challenging, or you could just perhaps lift your leg without straightening. Okay, and then back down, change leg. Keep your lift up, keep your bottom off the floor. Great, and then bringing that leg down, pushing back up into our bridge before we roll down one vertebrae at a time. And then hugging the knees to the chest again. Okay, now let's hold our right knee again, and we're going to just stretch our left leg along the floor. Now you can bring your cushion back under your head if that helps you, because you just want to avoid having your chin sticking up in the air, because that shortens the neck. So you want to keep the vertebrae at the back of the neck, keep them nice and elongated. Okay, and then we're lengthening through that left leg. Exhale, floating up the left leg. Inhale down, straight leg. Inhale up, so we're using our core muscles here. Keep our shoulders tucked under. Vikko, can you tuck your shoulders under more? Keep your shoulders tucked up, so you're widening across the front of the chest. Drawing the belly in towards the spine. That's it, nice, Richard, lovely. Lovely long leg. Floating the leg up and down under control. Okay. Great, and then we'll change side. Holding the other knee, stretching the right leg, and we'll float up. So we want to really have the shoulders tucked under, broadening across the front of the chest. Try not to bend that knee, so lovely long, straight right leg. Drawing the belly in and up. Make sure that you've got your head supported if you need that. Lovely, last one, floating up and down. Great, and then let's just hug both knees to the chest. So let's have our belt ready, nice and long. So just check that there's no loop in it. So you're not all going to need your belt, but some of you are. I'll show you. This is it without the belt. We're taking our hands inside, catching hold of our insoles, and then we're just doing this is called the happy baby pose. We can just let our feet point up to the ceiling. If that is a little bit, your feet seem quite far away from your hands, you can improvise something with the belt and do something like that, and then you don't have to have your feet so close to you, but you still get the benefit. So you kind of probably need to make a loop with your belt. Okay, now bring your left foot slightly closer and see if you can straighten your right leg. I'll just see how that works with the belt. Yeah, that's it. So you can just let your left leg drop and just stretch through your right leg. It works quite well with the belt actually, and then change. So let your right leg bend and stretch through your left leg, stretching out to the side. Great, and then switch. Yeah, so just keep switching, hold for a couple of breaths each side. Yeah, I think if you're using the belt, Richard, you need to make a loop around each foot, so will make it work. You just have to sort of loop your belt around your foot. Changing. Lovely. And then let's see if we can do both at the same time. So if you're using a belt, you can just hold your belt wherever. Yeah, you probably just need a slightly longer belt, but the yoga belts are really, they come in different lengths, so sometimes a longer one works much better in certain positions. That's lovely. Nice long legs. Okay, now let's all of us use the belt, and so that way we can take our legs as far back as we need to in order to get straight legs. So we want to have wide legs but straight legs, and we want to have our tailbone down on the floor. So make your legs wide, have your belt looped around your feet. That's nice. Yes, should feel quite comfortable. Yeah, you can let your heels drop a little bit more to the floor, just so that you can get your legs straight and you're not stressing. Lovely. Let's just hold for a couple more breaths. Lovely. And then sliding your feet together, catch hold of your belt, this time with your legs up in the air, but they're together. And depending on what your hamstrings are like, you might need to be doing that with your heels quite far away in order to get straight legs. We tuck our shoulders under. And then if we are bringing our heels forward, we're bringing them forward by hinging from the top of the leg, and we send the tailbone down into the floor. And let's just hold this for a moment. See if we can drop the sit bones down, and just check that we've got enough height under our head so that our shoulders aren't crunched up. If you're using a belt with this vehicle, you can put both legs up if you've got your belt to support you. See if you can bring the front of the thighs towards your tummy. So you're going to hopefully start to feel that down the outside of the thighs and coming into the buttock. Straight legs, Richard, if you can, send the heels away. Good, and then we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, come up, and Vico, don't do this, but the rest of you can come up, use your belt, and you can do this with one foot, Vico, actually. If you're pregnant, if you keep one foot on the floor, you can do that. I'll just move back a bit. So we're on the sit bones, we're using our belt, straight legs, open the chest. Now if that's really hard for you, you can bend your knees, is one way to do it. So you can get that lovely straight spine. So you're on your sit bones with the knees bent. And use the help of the belt to pull. Or you can try it with one foot on the floor. In fact, I think let's do it from the floor. We'll break that down a little bit. Some of you are struggling. So we're sitting on our sit bones and we're leaning slightly back. And we're going to take our belt, hold our knees to get lovely and straight first of all. And then we're going to just take our belt around our foot. And then holding the belt, just lift one leg up. Now, if that's really hard for you because of your hamstrings being tight, you can do the same thing, but just have your knees slightly bent. And see if you can get a straight spine. So lean back a little bit, Hazel. Open the chest. Open the chest. Now, see if you can bring the other leg off the floor. Unless you're pregnant, just keep one foot on the floor. See if you can lift your other leg off the floor. Good. And then some of you can straighten the other leg. But otherwise, don't worry, just see if you can lift the leg off the floor. So we're just taking this level by level. Okay, and then down. There's all kinds of things go on in this. It's having to work your back muscles, your core, and also obviously the stretch in the leg. So don't worry if you find it a little bit hard because it is quite challenging different parts of your body. So let's try it the other way. So we've got both feet on the floor, knees parallel, pointing to the ceiling. And we're leaning back and we're going to now take that left leg. Stretch it now. If you can do it with straight leg, that's terrific, but otherwise don't worry, just have your knees slightly bent. The important thing is don't stretch your leg by humping the back. It's better to have your knees slightly bent and the back straight. That's lovely, Richard. Good. Now leaning back until your right foot comes off the floor, or in Vico's case, just keep that right foot down. If you can just get that balance, and if that's fine, you can stretch out the leg that you're bringing up, or if you need to, you can just keep that foot on the floor if that's better for you, or you can just hover it, and then you think, oh, that's enough, then put it down again, hover the foot, and then put it down again, hover, and put it down. Yeah, bend your knees slightly, I think would be the answer, Kirsten. If you keep your knees slightly bent, you're going to manage it. And then let's do the full one. Bend our knees. And as long as you're using the belt, Vico, you can actually do that, I think. Yeah, that looks fine. Great, shoulders away from the ears. Tall spine, long spine, open the chest. Beautiful. And then bend the knee. So again, you can do that with both knees bent, and you can just work to get kind of balance like that. So you can start off with your feet on the floor, use your belt. So try that, Richard, if you have your knees together, and just put your belt around your feet. Slide your heels towards your bottom, and then just see if you can lift the heels an inch off the floor. Keep your knees together, knees together. You want your arms on the outside of your knees. Have the arms on the outside, that's it. So even if you only get your heels an inch off the floor, that's, there we are, that's lovely. Excellent, and then you can see if you can straighten a bit more, but that's the next level. Great, yeah, good, Richard, perfect, now you got it, yeah. Lovely. Excellent, excellent. Okay, good. Right, so this, I just want to do this one lying on the tummy, so obviously this is not for if you're pregnant, don't do this. So we're going to lie on our belly and do our forearms on the floor. So we want our shoulder, our elbow under our shoulder, bringing our elbows in. So Ruin can have cuddles while we're doing this. Shoulders away from the ears, and then we're going to just pull our belly off the floor and then let it come back again. Pulling the belly off the floor, and then if that feels okay, we can take belly and thighs, and back, belly, thighs. Lovely, and then if we're okay with that, we can do belly, thighs, and then tuck your shoulders under. Tuck your feet under, straight legs. So this is the plank. So Vico, if you want to, you can just do a nice stretch here through your hip flexors. Keep the knees towards each other. Okay, so keep going with your plank. Let's go again. We're going to have the elbows under knees. No, we're not. We're going to have the elbows under shoulders. And then tummy, thighs, tuck your feet under. So if you're managing okay with that, you can lift up one leg. And then lift up the other leg. Let's do that a few times. Shoulders away from the ears. And then rolling down. Great. How are you all doing? Keep that leg straight, shoulders away from the ears. Nice, Hazel, lovely. And if you're catching your heel, obviously change sides, so you're doing it on the other side as well. Good. Ah, Richard, well done, yeah. So let's see if we can do that with our hands now, just so it turns it into the crocodile pose. So if you bring your hands under your shoulders and tuck your feet under. It's actually really hard. I can do it from the other way. You can do it this way, from your dog. Take the shoulders over the ankles and then come down and hold. So you can try it that way. Lovely. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, Vico. Lovely, good. So one more. So so bring the shoulders over the ankles, and then you're going to drop down, bend the elbows. Yeah, bend the elbows, because it's quite a lot in the arms, isn't it? I'll just do it one more time. So we're in dog. We bring the shoulders over the wrists. Check our feet are far enough away, and then we're going to drop down with the arms. So we're actually in a parallel line. Good, and then release. Okay. Yeah, nice, Richard, lovely. Okay, now you're showing off, Richard, yeah. Okay, lovely. And then from there, we'll just go back onto our tummies and hug our knees, tuck our shoulders under. And we'll take our right ankle in front of our left knee, bringing that left knee towards us. So we can use a belt for this. do have something under your head if that is more comfortable, more possible for you. See how much you can squeeze that knee towards your chest. And notice how that accentuates the glute stretch in the right hip. If you want to feel it a little bit more, just start to roll a little bit to the left. Keep squeezing and notice how that intensifies the stretch. Breathing. Yeah, you want to roll the other way, Richard, so rotate to the left. Yeah, that's it. Right, and then let's change side. So we're taking left ankle in front of right knee, using our left hand, catching. You can start off using your belt. And as you warm up, you can catch with your hands. And then if you want to get a little bit more happening, then you just lean a little bit to the right. So you're taking that left foot a little bit more over to the right. Notice how that accentuates that glute stretch. So breathing into that. Lovely, and then release, okay. So have something on your right hand side and we're going to straighten our right leg, lift our left knee and just bring your left knee over onto a bolster or a cushion. Now you may not need anything, you might be able to just get your knee coming to the floor. What you want to do is maintain the rotation of that left shoulder so the left shoulder stays down. So we're doing our spine ringing. Just find a nice comfortable position for you where you get the best action. You can make it quite active, actively rotating towards the left with the upper part of your body as you rotate to the right with the lower part of your body. Breathing. Nice, and then release. And we'll do that to the other side. So straightening the left leg, take that right knee over. And we're rolling into the right shoulder now. So the upper part of your body is rotating to the right. The lower part is going off to the left. And you can activate that a little bit more. Get a lovely squeeze, lovely ringing of the spine. and then release. Now, we're going to go into a passive stretch, so we're going to do our badha konasana, so soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to go out to the side. The thing is, I want your knees to be supported, so you can have some blocks or cushions so that when you open your knees, your legs are landing on something. So find something that works for you, but you want to make sure that it's even. Now, if one leg is stiffer than the other, then keep your more flexible leg, keep it at the same height as the stiff one. So they both are going to be even. So you want to find just the right support, that it's not giving you more support than you need, but it's not giving you too little. Now, how do you know if it's too little? Because you'll feel like your knees are adrift, and what happens is your muscles get a little bit anxious, and then they pull you back in the groin area to prevent you overstretching. Whereas if you use a nice support that works for you, then your muscles are going to go, whoa, no problem, let's relax. This isn't going to cause any injury. And that way you can really begin get a nice opening. So check these soles of the feet are together, and some of you can bring your heels quite close up towards your body, allowing these knees to fall. And as you get more relaxed in the groin, you can take your blocks further away. Now we're going to turn our palms up to the ceiling, so we're tucking our shoulders under. And just breathing. Let's just relax into this for a few minutes. Lovely. So now you've been able to relax a little bit, just see if you can ease out the blocks so that they're not quite as high. And notice whether your knees your legs, your groin is feeling safe enough just to go with that and lengthen out a little bit more. And then just for a moment, you can try taking away all the support if you want to see what happens. And you might notice, for some of you, if you're quite far down already, you're not going to really, you'll find that you can relax without support. But for most of us, what we feel is you'll get that little screaming in the groin going, ah, danger. And then you start to get that contraction, which is going against what we're trying to do. So then just pop your blocks back. But it's always worth just testing it. And also you might notice that one side is going to be tighter than the other side. Okay, and then from there we're just bringing our knees back together. And we're going to come up to sitting using something underneath us if you want. You can use your wobble cushion at this point. And let's do the same position but from sitting. So this is a good challenge if you use the wobble cushion to sit on. It's a good core challenge. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Now we can use our belt around the feet. If we like to get a lovely long spine. Now if you find that bringing your heels close in, just making it too uncomfortable, obviously you can have your heels further away if that makes this pose possible. So just work with where your body's at. Yeah, good. That looks nice, John. Yeah, so find some of you, if you're sitting higher up, you can still get the feet together and the knees opening. So we want to try and bring the chest forward, so don't close like that. So Vico, see if you can open more. And the sternum is active and we're getting that broadening across the front of the chest. Some people talk about like a smile here and you're trying to make that smile wider. The shoulders rolling back and down. Getting as much height as you can. So let's make it really active. So pull on your belt and start to bring yourself forward. So your tummy is moving forward a little bit. Pulling on your belt. Inching forward. And you'll notice as you do that, you're going to feel more stretch in the groin. And then you can use something with a bit of height to see if you can lean forward. Just breathing. And I know some of you are super flexible in the groin, so you can just walk forward with your hands, and some of you can fold your head down. So if that's happening, then just let it go. So it's relaxing, lengthening, breathing. Beautiful. Lovely. And then coming up. And now we're going to go to any sitting position that you favour. So if you want to do it with cross-legged, then that's great. And then we're going to just, again, lean forward, which you'll find is going to be a little bit easier if you're not having to impact into your groin. So we're just, again, you can use a little bit of height. And if you are using, if you are crossing one way, then just change your cross and go the other way. That's it. And if you're doing it with your legs straight, don't forget you can always use a chair or something like that to give you a little bit of support, to give you a feeling of coming forward. So you can have your hands on a chair or something which, or if you've got your legs straight, you can always just hold about. But I wanted you to get more of a feeling of softening into that relaxation. Lovely. And then release. So we're just going to finish with just sit for a few minutes. So again, we'll find the most comfortable position for us, and if you find cross-legged a little bit difficult, just get yourself the height you need. You can always sit up on a chair. So we're going to take a few moments to get our body really straight. Just imagine you've got a plumb line coming down through the crown of your head, and it's coming down through the back of your forehead, through your throat, down through your heart center, through behind the sternum, coming down through the solar plexus and the sacral, right down through the root. So see if you can get a feeling of that plumb line going from the crown right down your body in through the root into the ground. So then see if you can get a feeling of that plumb line. I don't know, it wouldn't be a plumb line, but coming up the other way. So it's coming up from the root through all the parts of your body, through your spine, and then coming up towards the crown. So get a feeling of that as you breathe in and out, of breathing in through the root, up through the crown, breathe in through the crown, down through the root. So to see if you can get a sense of that. So we're really connecting the earth, the sky and the earth. Just taking a few moments, a few breaths to feel that. Lovely. And then we'll just finish together, gently bringing our hands onto our heart center. Remembering that lovely height, and then a little bow of thanks. Lovely, thank you all.